We are back.
We're back.
We are back, and we're talking about the golden age of robotics.
Ooh, this is an excellent topic.
Nick, it is an amazing time we are living in right now, and I think robots are going to make it more amazing.
I could not agree more. But why now? We've had robots for so long. Like, why in 2025? I don't get it.
Because we've had breakthroughs in 3 key areas that is going to make robotics really excel here in the upcoming years. Okay. We've got better hardware. So the hardware for the robotics has improved substantially. And 2, we've got smarter software. The software that goes into the robots have improved a lot. And then 3, better business models for robots. So business models for robots, we used to think they would be like companions or consumer, perhaps, and you would have one around the house as a nanny or just a personal assistant, like a robot valet. Now the business models for robots are going to be robots as a service. So businesses will hire them on a subscription basis and pay them like they would a SaaS software. And then they would have basically a subscription of robots that the vendor providing them would basically replace them and take care of them, maintain them, and then they just have robots.
That sounds a lot like hiring someone. Like a new innovative business model, but it's basically like payroll.
Yeah, well, here's why businesses love it. They don't have to pay humans.
Yeah, right. And you look at some of these robots, like, man, $200,000 for a robot. Like, who would ever pay that? But look at what people make per year.
Exactly.
Right?
And if you're able to basically release these from a company, the cost would be much less initially. You'd just be paying maybe a couple $100 a month for a robot instead of a couple $1,000s a month for a human.
Insane. And do they work only 8 hours a day?
They do not.
Do they work a full 24-hour day?
Well, they probably got to recharge at some point, but yeah.
That's true. Okay, so they got to eat.
Hey, real quick. Don't click away yet. We are trying to build a business community that helps identify the best opportunities within AI for both entrepreneurs and career professionals. If that does interest you, consider subscribing and liking the video. It's a huge help for small channels like us, and we really appreciate this support. So, all that being said, back to the episode. I mean, this is the world we are living in. How it's going to change, how it's going to affect society presents really interesting questions. But it is going to be the next decade, the decade of robotics and AI. And those two words might like merge a little bit more. You know, I even don't really like the word AI that much, artificial intelligence.
Well, it doesn't mean anything. The meaning actually moves around. Like we all at any moment in time, like any year, we all kind of agree what AI means that year. Like over the past 3, what it's meant is an LLM. What it's meant is ChatGPT or things around that, right? And it's somewhat descriptive of it, but do you just feel like a buzzword?
It's a buzzword. Yeah, because people have been saying, oh, we've got new AI technology and machine learning and blockchain. And like, it's machine like, but those things, are those things the same thing now? They're just like, they bundle it all in and everything's AI.
Yeah.
Where robotics is a little bit more specific, at least, you know, it's a physical thing.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier to distinguish. Now, AI plus robotics plus business models, you know, that's going to be the future. Interesting enough, Elon Musk did an interview this last week talking about his advancements with Optimum, which is the Tesla.
Optimus.
Optimus.
Yes.
This is going to be the Tesla robot. And the biggest challenge right now with robotics is the hand dexterity.
Yes. So I thought, so what? Like who could, you'd be able to figure that out. And then you think about every single joint that's in your hand and having to model all the different cases of where every single finger and every single joint is. It's the problem set explodes into something that like a single processor can't handle. It is a weird challenge. We're going to have to, I think, rethink software, rethink AI for just the hand. I mean, for a while, balancing a biped robot was really challenging to get a robot to be able to walk on just 2 legs. Now, this is kind of the new challenge. We've pretty much nailed that.
Yeah, these robots are really pretty good at balancing. Like I see people kicking them.
Yeah. We've seen that. We've been watching that.
Why does everyone like to attack robots when they first meet it?
It gets the clicks, man. It gets the views.
But isn't there just some kind of instinct when it's like, oh, it's a robot, and like you're like exploring and discovering, you kind of want to punch it for some reason?
I think you're kind of right. I mean, I kind of want to kick one over and see what
I kind
happens,
of want to
right?
push a robot.
Yeah, while we can, until they fight back.
Boy, they're going to record this clip. They're going to
Yeah,
find it.
yeah, we're
They're
just
going to find
joking.
it.
This is a joke podcast, robots. So it is cool to see the robotics thing come about because, okay, so I studied computer engineering and, in school, it was cool and desirable to specialize in robotics. But to me, it was always kind of a joke because it's like, yeah, of course you want to work on robots, but like, where in the industry are you actually going to see robots, except for really specific cases, right? Like automotive manufacturing, huge manufacturing plants. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's really cool, but there just wasn't that much use for it. And a
No.
lot of the reason was because the robot itself couldn't understand the world. They had to be strictly programmed to do one specific task. And now with AI, your favorite word, and LLMs and image AI being able to kind of like understand what's going on, what it's looking at. And now all of the robotics actuators that we've had for decades all of a sudden become way more useful because now you can kind of give the robots a brain. And not only that, because of that, we're going to start seeing the hardware get better and better and better because we can finally put the old hardware that we've had to work. It's going to be a cool time. It's going to be weird.
But you're so right about robotics didn't used to be a very exciting field to get into.
Yeah, no.
It was kind of like, you're right, supply chain had some robot use cases. There was that show where the robots fight each other, BattleBots.
BattleBots, excellent show.
Excellent show, decent robots. And then there was Japan. And that was about it for the robotic landscape. And then
Japan really liked their robots.
They really like their robots.
Yeah.
Almost like an unnecessary amount of robots over there. This isn't even useful. It's just fun to look at.
Guys, what are you doing?
And then there was like some attempts with like smart home assistants and robots. And in some ways, maybe Alexa and the smart devices have, some type of robotics. But none of those really, really panned out to be compelling use cases, did they?
No, they didn't. So
there's been a lot of failed robot attempts.
There have been many failed robot attempts.
And
we're
curious from our startup perspective. Previously, was it hard? Were startups even getting funding? Were they even pursuing this field of robotics in the last 10 years? Or was it so specialized and niche that it really wasn't getting the majority of attention? I feel like startups have been getting enterprise software space is getting a lot of funding. The AI space is now getting a ton of funding. Even the crypto and blockchain space maybe got some funding. But robotics hasn't necessarily been the biggest allocation of like VC funds or anything until very recently.
Yeah. I mean, one issue is that it's hardware. It takes a lot of funding to even kind of get started, right? And so if you're unclear on the market use case, the market size, and it takes an enormous amount of money to even get started, like who would want to invest in that, right? But things have changed now.
Do you see, so you're in Y Combinator, do you see startups pursuing the robotic space now?
Yeah, there are some. And there are some that are building companies that 5 years ago you would have heard and it's like, that's cute, but it's a dumb idea. Now it makes sense. Like consumer robots, where people aren't even asking but what it's for. People are now just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I want one. I'm not really sure what I would use it for, but I want one. And I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too.
Like, think about it. It actually wouldn't be that hard to build. So, Peter, let's say you had a robotic arm on a wheel, like on a Roomba that could go around your place. And let's say this arm could reach up onto your shelf, right? It's not that big of a stretch of the imagination to think, well, we could connect a camera on this and it sends that image to ChatGPT or Gemini every second or 10 times a second to figure out like what it's doing and what's going on. And then being able to prompt that thing like, hey, this is my shirt, right? And then it remembers it. Put my shirt into the dryer. And it's like, I don't know where your dryer is, but I'm going to go look around until I find it. Like you could build a prototype like that. It wouldn't be that hard. You could not have done that 5 years ago.
Yeah, so a robotic for household chores seems to be an appeal to everyone. We're about to do the dishes, the laundry, to clean your
Yeah.
house, maybe even walk your dog. People would probably pay 20,000 for that, maybe. I don't
Some would
know.
definitely pay more.
Some would pay more, some that it wouldn't be it wouldn't make sense, but that it is interesting. Roomba was a pretty successful robotic use case. It's funny you mentioned that. Now, it wasn't perfect. I have had a Roomba. I got to admit, I wasn't too satisfied with the purchase. It cost $1,000. It screwed up a lot. It had a lot of errors. And then it occasionally would run over dog poop and smear it all over the
Yes.
floor.
Wait, did that happen to you?
No, it didn't happen to me. It did not happen to me, I'll
I've
be honest.
seen those videos. Holy shit. I mean, pun. But yeah, you leave the house, you set your vacuum to go, and your dog has a stomach issue. And that vacuum, it doesn't know what it's doing. It
Yeah.
spreads that everywhere.
Now, my Roomba would get caught on a lot of things. Like I had dog pee pads down occasionally. It would run over those and suck them up and then get caught. It would get stuck a ton of times. It would get stuck. It would get stuck in like a weird corners and not know how to get out. I don't think consumers have had super positive robot experiences at this point. Maybe there's been robots that will make a latte or make a mixed drink, but none of that is compelling enough for them to purchase. Now, if there is like a lease program where, there are really good, are we going to call them humanoids, by the way? Are we going to call them humanoids or robots?
Well, there will be both. A humanoid has the form of a human. I think there will be some like robotic arms on wheels. So I don't know. Both.
So the humanoid is a robot in human form, where a
Yes.
robot could be just like a Roomba.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
It's a little weird we're calling them humanoids. It's a little weird
I know.
because then people are going to attach human values and rights to the robots if they're humanoids.
Completely. I've been fighting for human or for robot rights for about 2 decades. Everyone's thought I'm crazy for a long time.
Boy.
What would you use a home robot for?
Yeah. I'd use it in the bedroom.
Finally, you can just sit back and let someone else do the work.
I'm joking, but like not, because the consumer use case for a lot of new technology is usually around intimacy.
Yeah.
It sells. It sells.
It
right?
does sell.
So it's so funny. Like I said, our initial reaction when we come in contact with robots is first we think of, can we fight it? We push it like we talked about earlier. And the second thing that probably goes through our primitive brains is like, oh, could I have sex with this robot?
So can I have sex with it?
And like that is going to be a robotics use case. We've talked about AI companions, and there are already products out there in this demographic. But as technology improves, that would be something people would use around the house.
Yeah.
Is that
I
good?
cannot wait. I can't wait for my humanoid. I know exactly what I would put it to work for. And actually, I don't know if it's worth bringing up on a podcast, but I've had, I mean, there's a lot of housework and I've had injury, like I've hurt my shoulder, my elbow for repetitive work. The first thing I would get a humanoid to do is my daily toilet plunging routine. It is exhausting.
You gotta order that heavy duty robot.
Yeah. It's gotta have strong arms.
You get a weekly report from the robot. You clog the toilet 5 times this week, Nick. Lay off the In-N-Out burgers. The robot, your house robot just continually judges you.
So what are we going to do? Okay, so a lot of people say, well, robots are going to take over all of our jobs. Like, how are we going to fix this socially? Well, the solution's universal basic income, right? Like, does that sound like a solution to you?
No. You might like it, so we might disagree on this. I first heard about universal basic income, I don't know, it was maybe 8 years back or so on. There was that candidate out of New York, Andrew Yang, was a big component of it. And it was a super interesting concept. And I remember listening about it, and I thought, this is such a great solution and innovative. And as I've had more time to think about it, don't think that's going to be good for society. I don't think giving people money is good.
Completely.
Yeah, I want to believe that people would get this money and then use it in great ways. But I know that there are going to be a portion of the population that it enables addiction problems, or it enables people not to go to work, or it's
I think it's even worse than that. I think it's not even the things that are that sharp. I think the idea of someone living 2 decades not providing for themselves, not knowing how to have a purpose is extremely dangerous. I think it's almost like a form of indentured servitude or slavery. Like you're owned by the government that is paying you to live your life. Really, really dangerous. I don't think we ever want to be in that situation where someone else is your boss and there's nothing you can do to improve your situation, right?
yeah. And part of the other reason why I changed my mind on UBI was, if you remember during COVID, it was kind of like a mini UBI test trial where a lot of people got funding and checks, and they bought NFTs. It was a lot of wasted money in those times, and I don't think UBI would play out any differently.
They're an investment. They'll pay
Yeah,
off
and then it
soon.
caused inflation. So unfortunately, and I say this unfortunately because I really wanted to believe that
Agreed.
UBI would be a
Agreed.
solution. I don't think so. I think you're right. People will need something to do,
I
a purpose, and so on. And the reality is, there's not a shortage of certain jobs. Like, there is not a shortage of construction jobs. There isn't.
I almost get like borderline insulted by these people that think the robots are going to take all our jobs. As a human, you know how creative and scrappy humans are to figure out a way. It's like, I know it's hard to imagine what the world will be like, right? But we're going to figure it out. We will find new things to do. I'm not worried about it. I mean, I get being worried about it, but no, humans are going to move on. We're going to survive.
What do you think about some of the ethical dilemmas of a human robot relationship? Like, how is our friendships with robots going to change? Is there an etiquette when we are going to be discussing things with robots? Like, do we have to basically treat them like a human in the conversation? Like, do you shake a robot's hand when you first meet it? Like, how is our relationship with robots going to happen? Are we just their boss? Like, how does that dynamic work?
Yeah, right. So, like, why do you do that? Why do you treat a human with respect, but not your computer, right? I think it has to do with the memory and how that individual will treat you in the future, and how they may talk about you to others, right? I think that keeps things respectable.
Right. And as a human, there's emotional side to relationships that you want to be respectful of. Do robots have emotions?
I mean, we can mimic it, right? And it would effectively be the same thing. I'm not saying that we've already figured that out, but like, I think that's actually coming. Not coming because the technology will be there, but I think people want that. I think people actually they would purchase more robots if there was this emotion, kind of a human element to it that felt like you were dealing with someone.
So it mimics it, but it still has those features. So if it still has those features and you're communicating with the robot that is mimicking emotions, then you're probably going to have a similar discussion like you would a human.
Yeah. Right. Right.
No, I mean, I have discussions with AI and I'll interrupt it and stuff like that and go, you're messing up. So there is still a little bit of a dynamic that we're the humans, we're the authority, we're the boss, and the robots exist to supplement our existence.
Do you say please to ChatGPT and Gemini?
I do. I don't know why.
I do too.
I
I think I do it because it makes me feel better. Like, if I'm in that mood to just be like, hey, that was a good job. Let's keep going with this. I literally think it keeps me in a good mood. Maybe that will be the reason that people treat robots with respect.
So if robots are going to mimic emotions, are they going to be able to mimic like anger and resentment? Are they going to have those emotions? Are they programmed to have those emotions? I don't know if they are. I don't know if there's safety controls against that. I don't think I've ever had an AI get angry at me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it'd be that hard to mimic. It's whether someone's going to actually put a product out there that does it.
That probably will be. New to the App Store, the angry AI. It's just like a George Costanza voice.
Jerry, Jerry.
Mad at the world. So it's going to be interesting. The automation is going to come. It's going to affect people's jobs. What the future is going to turn into be, we don't know. But here are some shocking statistics, Nick. I've got some mind-blowing facts for you about robotics. It's going to be $1 trillion boom. Okay, this
At
is
least,
according to some research from McKinsey. AI is projected to contribute an astonishing $13 trillion to the global economy by 2030, driving 1.2% annual increase in global GDP. It's going to be a big player. The most significant economic transformation in history compared to the steam engine or electricity. So this is combining AI and robotics in those figures. But specifically robots, here's the other shocking statistic. Robots are getting hired at record rates. The global average robot density in factories has more than doubled in just 7 years. So from 74 units, from 74 units per 10,000 employees in 2016 to 162 in 2023. Companies are hiring robots at higher rates. Robot technology is getting better. The business case for them is pretty straightforward. They are cheaper than human employees, and a lot of times more effective too. Asia, particularly China, is leading the curve, with China's robot density surging past Germany's and Japan's. Didn't see that coming. To become the third most automated country in the world, this trend highlights a global race to automate and improve productivity. So it's not like a choice. Like, we can't just say pass legislation to ban robots from taking our jobs, because if all of our competing countries are leveraging robotics, we're going to have to too.
Totally. Then we're going to fall behind if we don't.
We're going to fall behind. That's an interesting statistic. The other interesting statistic I have here for us is labor cost versus robot cost. The tipping point. So a robot costing $50,000 to acquire can replace one shift worker and save the company between $40,000 and $60,000 annually in wages and benefits. The initial investment of a robot has an often return on investment within 18 to 30 months, and the robot can then work continuously over a decade. So we can't compete with these robots.
Yeah.
The business
and then
case,
there's going to be a price war. There's going to be a race to the bottom between companies, right? People are going to put out cheaper and more capable robots year after year.
Very much so, because the scale of it and the improvements will get better. Now, the optimistic look at this is that there's going to be a lot of hiring and growth within robotic companies.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new industry. It's not a new industry, but the industry is going to explode, and there's going to be a demand for a lot of humans to work at these companies, making and maintaining the robots and so on. So it's going to be changing. It's
one of the most interesting things I think about robotics, humanoid robotics, is it's so different from other types of automation because the robots can build themselves, right? Not all companies will do this. And the first robots will take humans to build them, right? But Optimus, Tesla, they've already put out a video. It was a teaser video. It wasn't, it was just for fun. But when you have 1,000 Optimus robots, and those 1,000 Optimus robots can build another 1,000 per day, then your ability to multiply and build these cheaper and cheaper, right, really starts changing.
Boy, that's kind of scary. If robots are building robots, are they putting the safety controls in place?
Yeah, I don't
know. Only the robots would. Are robots going to have relationships with other robots? Are robots going to fall in love with over robots?
Yeah, very likely. Probably not, but I'd watch.
There'll be a category for that on certain websites.
Let's do it.
You're just scrolling. What the hell is this?
Let's get one of those YouTube robots and start an OnlyFans channel.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh.
All right. Next business.
Robot OnlyFans. Oh. So there already are some robots out here in Austin, Texas. Nick, I don't know if you've heard of the Rizbot here in Austin, Texas. There is a bot. Yep. There is a bot. I'm going to share my screen here in a second.
Okay, yeah, let's see
I'm
it.
going to show you guys what we're working with here. There is a bot running through Austin. It's called the Rizbot.
Yeah. Ha! This is the Rizbot?
This is the Rizbot walking around. He's got a cowboy hat. He's got a chain. He is going around, and sometimes he roasts people. He's nice, but not always. And sometimes he's just running and like just running down the sidewalk, and people look at this, be like, "What is this robot doing?" So, I mean, it's another example. It's like an entertainment. It's going super viral, all over social media. So, robots will be used in entertainment as well. Like robot actors, will be used, right? You can see plays with robots, and there is like robot shows. There has been, kind of like It's a Small World or so, but this is going to be on a whole nother level when we just have continuous entertainment from robots as well.
Who's doing this? Do we know who's behind this?
No, I think there is a handler. So there's a handler, and then someone walking around with a videotape, but it's not like a mechanical thing where the handler's saying the stuff or anything like that. I believe the robot is doing on their own, and the handler is just there to make sure that someone doesn't throw it in the river or something.
Like a scooter.
Exactly. Like I said, people they want to fight these robots, and then they try and get intimate with them. These robots, these humanoids. So he's shorter. This robot, it's like 4'11" or so on. But it is getting a lot of attention, my friend. A lot of attention. It's fun. I don't know. Maybe I look at robots as a net positive to society. I think it's going to be a huge improvement in productivity and efficiency and in jobs, and hopefully they don't control us and take us over.
Yeah, we'll see.
It would be nice if they didn't. It would be nice if we didn't. So we're going to end on that note for this episode. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you especially to the robot overlords.
Thank you. We just wanted to say we appreciate you, everything you do for us. Thank you for sparing Peter and myself.
Yes.
And looking forward to the future. Rock on.
Rock on. All right. Thanks everyone. See ya.
Peace.